4:20 a.m. Sid was asleep, preparing to hunt for more toys, until... Sid! Sid, wake up! Mom is dead! Hannah cried, shaking her brother to wake him up. Well, what do you want? Don't you know it's 5 and... Wait, what? Mom's dead? Sid exclaimed. Yes, I am not kidding. I heard her screaming and a toy killed her, Hannah explained. Oh my god, how did I not wake up to that? Sid pondered. Sid got out of his bed to check in his mother's room, and once he looked in with Hannah behind him, and once he looked inside, Mrs. Phillips was dead. Oh my god, Mom! Sid screamed. He was distraught at the sight of the corpse of his mouth quivered. That's not just that! Look! Hannah called, pointing to the television. The Toypocalypse has begun. Various toys have spread loose around the Tri-County area. Who will stop this awful apocalypse and save our beloved town? The female news reporter declared. Sid's face grew into the most genuine look of fear and shock. His hands trembled, his mouth quivered, and he panted in fear. What has this world come to? Why? Sid suddenly screamed, facing the sky. Hannah grabbed Sid by his shirt and slapped him across the face to calm him down. Sid, get a grip. It's not too late to stop those demented toys. We must fight back, Hannah exclaimed. But how? Sid asked, calming down. I have no idea, but it's entirely up to you, Hannah assured. Sid thought for a second, until... I thought of something fast. Come with me. 4:50 a.m. Sid and Hannah held some tools that the former used to torture toys with. I'm not so sure about this. Are you sure these things are safe? Hannah asked in concern. Don't worry, I will teach you, replied Sid. The two siblings walked out of Sid's room and downstairs. Sid whistled for Scud, and the latter walked out from around a corner. Hey boy, we need your help. The toys are coming to our yard, and you must aid us by chewing them, Sid told Scud. Scud nodded, granting Sid's order. Great, Sid cheered. Hannah rolled her eyes. I hope Scud behaves himself. Oh, I bet he will, Sid replied slyly. The siblings and Scud walked out of the house and into the backyard. They looked through the broken fence that one of or a few of the toys had broken down. You ready for this? Sid asked, leaning near Hannah's ear. I'm ready, Hannah responded. They waited for the battle to begin, narrowing their eyes for battle as Scud growled quietly. At this moment, Mr. Potato Head came walking out from a corner. You again! Sid shouted, pointing at the evil plastic Spud. Scud growled venomously, seeing him too.
Oh, you talking to me? I've been waiting for you, Phillips, Mr. Potato Head mocked. And who's this? Your girlfriend? Girlfriend? You! Hannah exclaimed in disgust. She's not my girlfriend. She's my little sister. Say any weird shit about her again, and I'll fry you for fries. Got it? Sid yelled, defending Hannah and pointing a handsaw straight at Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head chuckled at Sid's threat. Oh, I'm afraid you can't stop me now. The Toypocalypse has just begun. My army has killed so many enemies of them, even toy abusers, lifetime criminals, and more people of penny negative type. I will stop you and your messed up army. Just you wait, Sid berated in response. You should be happy that I never performed any of your toys, young girl, because you are at least more mature than your brother, and I've never seen you before. Mr. Potato Head spoke to Hannah. But you've done so many bad things. I will never support you, nor will I ever join you, Hannah snarled. My sister's got a point. She would never join your alliance, Sid snarled to her. Potato Head glared menacingly at the siblings and Scud. If it's gonna be that way, then fine. My Toypocalypse army will destroy you both, and your mangy mutt too. Potato Head grinned evilly as he looked from behind. My loyal demented toys? At this moment, Woody, Buzz, Rex, Ham, Slinky, Jessie, and Bullseye came marching out from behind, slowly approaching the toys. Sid's eyes widened in shock. He thought back to one of his traumatic memories,
This scenery reminded him of that one time his mutant toys circled around him as part of Woody's plan to teach him a lesson.
This is gonna be a bloodbath, he whispered.
You can fight, but you will never win, Phillips. Not even your whiny sister, nor your vicious mutt,
Potato Head called before running off and laughing evilly. Sid snapped out of his anxiety and put on a determined face, ready to fight off the toys.
Back to where it all happened, eh, Sid?
Woody asked with a smirk. Sid's face quivered with fear, but he managed to glare menacingly at the now demented cowboy doll.
Let's end this, Buzz threatened.
All of the toys began charging towards Sid and Hannah as the siblings. Ham began charging towards Scud, like a bull attempting to ram a tamer. Luckily, Scud evaded the corrupted piggy bank. Rex lunged towards Hannah with the clear attempt to bite her face off, with the latter whacking him with the drill. Slinky stared straight at Scud's face, growling, to which the latter growled back. Bullseye then bucked Hannah from behind, making her fall flat on her stomach. Woody, Buzz, and Jesse surrounded Sid. This moment reminded Sid of that scene from 2 years ago on the day Andy moved to his new house. He was surrounded by many of his mutant toys who were now given away to a tip store far away. Sid fell to the ground.
Do you remember this day, Sid? When you tried to send Buzz to space with a firework? And when you tried to burn me on the barbecue? Woody asked venomously, grinning evilly. Well, as for trying to kill me 2 years ago, we are going to do the same thing to you,
Buzz added as he pointed to something off-screen. What Sid saw what Buzz pointed at was a large firework, the size of an average human's body.
Well, what?
Sid exclaimed.
Sid!
Hannah called, which Sid caught attention from.
Sid, listen to me! You told me that you overcame your fear of toys finding the cowgirl doll, right? Well, you can't be afraid of toys like how you used to be anymore. You just have to fight back.
Hannah's words motivated Sid to kick Jesse, Woody, and Buzz away from him in succession.
This is for scaring the crap out of me 2 years ago, he growled.
Way to go, big brother,
Hannah cheered.
I am not afraid of you guys anymore. I am not,
Sid declared, raising his voice at all the demented toys. Suddenly, Slinky rose from behind Hannah as if he was going to bite her, until he wrapped himself around her. Sid noticed this and was worried for her. He thought of the time Andy saved him from Slinky, so he went to do the same thing with Hannah. He grabbed Slinky by the head to unwrap him and grabbed his tail to swing him around before he threw him over the roof of his house and onto the streets. Bullseye ran on his 2 legs and charged towards Scud and bucked him in the face with one hoof. Scud yelped once he felt the impact of the demented horse's hoof strike him in the face.
Scud!
Sid yelled.
Leave my dog alone!
Sid ran up towards Bullseye and kicked him upwards with his foot, sending him flying over the other fence. Ham was hiding on the roof on Andy's old house, watching the fight. Ham then grinned devilishly until...
Pig pile!
He shouted as he jumped off the roof and onto Hannah to attack her. Sid saw this attack and he grew fury inside of him. He grabbed Ham off of Hannah's back and he started whacking him against a tree stump 3 times before he shattered to pieces on the 4th try.
Stay down, you bacon-skinned bastard,
he proclaimed angrily. Suddenly, Bullseye ramped into Sid, knocking him to the side. Sid sprained his ankle a bit, but he managed to grab a barbecue lighter placed on top of the grill. He pulled it off and lit Bullseye to flames. He stomped on the demented horse as the latter began to lose his fabric and seam, finally perishing. Hannah looked around to find some of the other demented toys to fight. Out of nowhere, Hannah felt something bit her ankle. It was Rex.
Ow! Sid! Help!
She screamed. Sid turned around, seeing his sister in danger. Sid began running up to the friendly-turned-vicious dinosaur before Rex came running up towards him too. Rex lunged upwards towards Sid to bite his face off, but the latter suddenly bent backwards, making the former land on the grill. This gave Sid the opportunity to light Rex on the grill, like how he lit Bullseye to flames. Sid pulled out the barbecue lighter and lit Rex on fire.
Time to go extinct, nasty dinosaur!
Sid snickered, grinning.
Way to go, Sid! 4 down, free to go!
Hannah cheered, proud of her brother. As Sid went to fight the rest of the toys, Slinky sprung out of nowhere and pushed him to the ground.
You're going to pay for what you've done to those toys, Sid, because we're going to do the same thing to you.
Slinky snarled before he grinned evilly. Sid panted slightly as Slinky stared straight into his eyes, like how he did when he, Andy, and Scud visited the now abandoned Davis's home.
Hannah, grab the saw!
Sid called. Hannah concurred and grabbed the handsaw on the ground, which Sid dropped. While Slinky wasn't looking, Hannah started sawing the coils in half and grabbed his lower half, throwing it over the fence. As Slinky attempted to run around Sid's neck to strangle him, he noticed that his upper half was gone, so were his coils.
What happened to my lower half?
He exclaimed. Sid got the opportunity to grab Slinky's upper half and stomped into the ground, never to attack him, the sister, nor any more innocent people. Hannah looked for the 3 remaining toys, Woody, Buzz, and Jessie. At this moment, Jessie crawled out from under a blue milk crate and grabbed Hannah's ankle. Hannah built up bravery and picked Jessie up to feed her to Scud. Scud began gnawing his teeth on her legs.
You will pay for this, toy killers!
Jessie yelled as Scud continued ravaging her. Scud spat at Jessie out. Her fabric was torn, her stuffing was exposed on both her arms and body, and the outdated batteries were chucked out of her voice box.
Good work, boy. 2 to go,
Sid declared. Suddenly, Buzz came hopping on Sid's head and landed on Scud's face. He pulled Scud's eyelids really hard and let them go, stunning him.
Goodbye, you stupid dog,
Woody said with a devilish grin. He grabbed Sid's handsaw and stabbed Scud in the stomach with it, killing him.
Scud!
Sid and Hannah shouted in unison. Woody dropped the handsaw as he and Buzz slowly marched towards the siblings.
It's 2 against 2 now, you vicious, stupid, selfish, nasty, repulsive little buttface. You can't stop us now,
Buzz said, grinning evilly. The Toypocalypse has already started, and more toys will infest all of the Tri-County area, and there is nothing you can do about it, Phillips. This ends here, added Woody, smiling evilly. Sid drew his eyes to the rocket that Buzz showed earlier and thought of a plan.
Hannah, get the tape on the table,
Sid whispered to Hannah. Hannah nodded and ran to the bench.
Woody, don't let the girl get away,
Buzz called. Woody followed Hannah to stop her from escaping. When she grabbed the duct tape on the table, she grabbed Woody by the neck and held it up, smirking confidently.
No, you don't mean,
stammered Woody.
Time for you to go to the moon, boys,
Sid chuckled as he picked up Buzz. Sid and Hannah walked up to the large skyrocket, placed them on it, and stuck them on with the tape.
You may have won this war, but our leader will punish you. He will!
Woody snarled angrily.
Oh, pipe down, you pint-headed cowboy. You and your space friend just want to explore the solar system together.
Sid chuckled.
Hannah?
Hannah lit the fuse with a barbecue lighter. The fuse began to burn.
Run for cover!
She yelled. Sid and Hannah ran into the house for cover until Buzz and Woody shot upwards into the sky. As they exited out of the clouds, the skyrocket exploded into 100 pieces, as many pieces fell from the sky. 5:30 a.m. Sid and Hannah walked back outside to inspect the aftermath of Woody and Buzz's demise. The former had a look of sadness on his face, realizing he went back to his old ways for the innocent people's sake, before the latter offered a high five, meaning they got rid of the toys. Sid and Hannah high-fived, grinning at each other, and later embracing.
What the hell was that?
A familiar voice called. When that mysterious person came out, it was Mr. Potato Head.
And what happened to the rest of my henchmen?
He exclaimed in anger and shock.
You're toast, Budface,
Sid mocked as he and Hannah walked up towards him, picking up a brick.
You may have won this battle, Phillips, but I have heaps of more toys that will continue the Toypocalypse, and you will not win.
Mr. Potato Head growled angrily, wanting revenge. Shut up, Sid snarled back before he dropped the brick on Mr. Potato Head. Sid dusted off his hands, having won the victory with his sister. So, what happened to Andy? Asked Hannah in concern. Sid bit his lip, worried Hannah would get mad, but he told the truth anyway. He was suffering so much, I had to sacrifice him. Hannah's eyes widened as if she was about to cry, but she completely understood what Sid meant and had to do. Now, what's going to happen? She asked. Sid and Hannah then walked out to the driveway and peered out through the road. At this moment, something shook them. There was a wave of squeezed toy aliens led by 3 of Andy's toy aliens, who still had pupils on while the rest of the aliens' toys were fully white. The Toypocalypse had continued, but Sid and Hannah looked at each other in determination. You up for round 2? Sid asked. I sure am, Hannah replied, accepting Sid's offer to fight the demented toys. The two shook hands and prepared for another battle. Sid and Hannah packed their things to clear off the Tri-County area, free from the corrupted toys, and they would potentially win.